Many of us have seen this book at our local bookstores and on other YouTube channels. Well, I'm going to introduce you to 5 more albums that I think should belong in this book. Stay tuned and we'll see you on the flip side. Hello everyone, my name is Daryl and I'm the Northern Vinyl Guy, and if you haven't checked out this book, well, you should get yourself a copy of this, although one of the issues is that it's the same old bands that are sometimes in here. You know, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. You look at the 90s, you got some Nirvana and you've got Metallica and all those popular bands that have come through music history, and they've got some famous albums. But what about the ones that kind of miss the mark that are not in here? Well, Alan from the Static Traveler came up with an idea, the thread in fact, which I will leave in my link to my description below, on coming up with 5 other albums that you think should be in these types of books. Right now we have 1001 albums, you got 1001 songs. In some case, you know, they've got 1001 foods that you want to try before you die, all those kinds of things. Well, what are 5 more albums that you think should be added to this book? So I'm going to put my spin on it with some Canadian music and an American band that I've talked about many times on my channel that I'm just baffled is not actually in this book. So one of the things that kind of gets me about these types of books is that they often exclude bands from, you know, that are not from America or from the United Kingdom. There isn't a lot of Canadian artists that are in this book. There's also not a lot of Australian bands and bands from, say, Africa or South America and stuff like that. And there's a lot of great music from external parts of the world. So before I start going over some of my albums that I have for this particular video, I'd like to recognize some other videos that have been done within this thread. I thought that they were brilliantly done. Gave me some ideas as to different categories and stuff that are not typically shown in these 1001 albums or songs that you should listen to before you die kind of thing. So I'd like to recognize first Elliot Crews. He did a video not too long ago, and he shows a lot of like Americana music, bluegrass, roots music from the United States. A lot of stuff that I hadn't heard of, including even outlaw country, which you normally don't see in these types of lists. So if you have not checked out that video, definitely check out Elliot Crews and his channel. I'll leave a link to all of these ones below. Secondly, I would like to recognize Jack from the Vinyl Voyage over in Scotland. He's included, you know, singer-songwriter music that you would think would be in there. But they're definitely not. And indie rock music from especially the 1990s. So check out Jack and the Vinyl Voyage. Thirdly, David Atkinson out of the UK. He's got a pretty comprehensive list that he showed on his video. Specifically, I'd never really heard Prefab Sprout. And he wanted to make note that, yes, they're in there, but maybe the album that should be in there is not in there. So check that one out. That, you know, he does show some albums of bands that are actually in the book, but they're not the albums that maybe are the better ones, or that you haven't listened to. And then last but not least, a channel that's been new to me, I just came across them through this thread, is Midge from Midge's Gems. And things like comedy albums or, you know, comedy related music is typically not in there. You know, I had considered putting Weird Al Yankovic on my list, but is it necessary for everyone to listen to a Weird Al Yankovic album. Probably not. However, check out Midge's Gems and his video. He's got some cool stuff that's in there from the comedy related music scene. So with that, I'm going to get started on my list going forward, but do check out those channels. Let's get going. I'm going to try to put my spin on this, as I mentioned, with some Canadian bands and then a couple of others that, for specific reasons, I'm just kind of surprised aren't in these 1001 albums that you should check out before you die. So I'm going to start with a 1969 album by possibly one of Canada's most famous bands. They've been popular all over the world. And that is the Guess Who. This is a 1969 album. This is the Canned Wheat album. And I mean, it's an iconic cover. It features the hit song Laughing. The one track that it doesn't feature is American Woman, which, if I wanted to include that album on here too, we could definitely do that. But this has some classic, Canadian hits on here that I think people should listen to if you haven't heard them. And if you have heard them, and you haven't heard them in a while, I mean, these are classic, timeless songs, including No Time. It includes Laughing, the track Undone. They're all on here. This is Canadian rock music at its best. Of course, Burton Cummings and Randy Bachman or Randy Bakeman, most popular musicians from this band. They went on to either have solo careers or, in the case of Randy Bachman, formed Bachman Turner Overdrive. Classic Canadian rock. I'm just shocked that it is not in these albums, 1001 albums you should listen to before you die. Check this one out. Awesome stuff. The Guess Who. All right. Up next is a musician from the province of Quebec, late 1970s. This is from 1978, although he did have some classic music in the early 1980s. And I'm going to go with Gino Vanelli and his album Brother to Brother. This is soft rock, soft pop. I don't want to call it classic rock, but definitely 1970s rock. You've got some jazz fusion. This is a fantastic album. Classy cover. If you want to listen to, another great album by Gino Vanelli that I'm not including on here, check out Power People, the album. This one here, though, Brother to Brother, has Appaloosa on it. The River Must Flow. I Just Want to Stop is a great song. And on side B, Wheels of Life, if you have not heard that song, these are fantastic tracks by a fantastic musician out of the province of Quebec. Goes overlooked even in Canada as a whole. But I would check him out. Gino Vanelli, Brother to Brother. Awesome stuff right there. All right. Now, this one here, to me, is just baffling. I just don't understand how this musician is not in the book. Perhaps one of Canada's most famous solo artists ever when it comes to rock and roll, or not rock and roll, but rock music, and especially 1980s rock. They talk about Ryan Adams, who has 2 albums included in this book from the 2000s. But Bryan Adams from Canada, this album Reckless, this is one of the most famous albums to ever come out of Canada. And I just don't understand why this is not in there. One Night Love Affair, Run to You, Heaven, Somebody, and of course the classic Summer of '69. This is almost a greatest hits album by one of Canada's most famous artists. I know that he's not for everyone. Not every Canadian likes him, but come on. How is this not in the 1001 albums to listen to before you die? I don't understand it. Even if you don't like Bryan Adams, there is no denying that he is one of the most classic musicians to ever come out of Canada. Reckless, Bryan Adams, you should be listening to this if you haven't heard it yet. Take a dive into this one. All right. Another one. I mean, Rascal Flatts did a cover of one of this artist's most famous songs. He is not in this book, whether it is with his band Red Rider or whether it's as a solo artist. But the album Mad Mad World by Tom Cochrane from 1991, once again, this has Life is a Highway on it. It was covered by Rascal Flatts. It was featured in the movie Cars, the soundtrack to the movie Cars. But I mean, Life is a Highway, it's a great song. But other songs that are on here, I mean, one of my favorite songs of all time, Sinking Like a Sunset. Really mellow song, but amazing guitar, amazing drums. Not Bryan Adams, but Tom Cochrane, sounding fantastic as always. Washed Away, a great track. Secret is to Know When to Stop, and the last track on it, All the King's Men, absolutely brilliant. I mean, these songs, this album was also produced by Bryan Adams along with Joe Hardy, right? I mean, I just don't get it. If you are into 1980s, early 1990s rock music, I mean, this is where it's at. Tom Cochrane, Mad Mad World should be in your 1001 albums of all time. All right. These next two, so this is where you're going to get one plus a bonus. These are American bands, but once again, I'm a little bit surprised that these are not in the 1001 albums of all time. Maybe one of them is a little bit niche, but I definitely think that it should be in there. But the first one from I think it's 1986, if I remember right. It's either 85 or 86. I've mentioned this album so many times on my channel. I just am baffled that Bruce Hornsby and the Range, I mean, they recorded 3 brilliant albums between 1985 and 1990. This is probably the most popular of them all. But I mean, this album, I mean, it has music about, social issues. It's got kind of love tracks that are on here. It's got rock and roll. His piano playing, Bruce Hornsby's piano playing, is amazing. The playing of the mandolin on this album, absolutely amazing. The title track, the way it is, I mean, it still holds the theme of that song about homelessness and some of the issues we have in this world. Absolutely brilliant lyrics, absolutely brilliant music. Every Little Kiss, Mandolin Rain, The Way It Is, Down the Road Tonight, The Wild Frontier. I mean, this here, from start to finish, is an amazing album. Shouldn't be overlooked. Should be in the book. My copy, 1001 Albums to Listen to Before You Die, does not include this album in it. And I was just completely baffled as to why. Phenomenal music. Check out Bruce Hornsby and the Range. If you have not listened to all 3 of their albums, I mean, they're brilliant. They're brilliant. In my opinion, all 3 of them should be in there, in the book, but it is not. All right, and I am going to finish this off with, like I said, it's a little bit, I guess, niche, from the 1990s alternative scene. This particular album here, I apologize, I did not take it out of my sleeve. However, this album here is probably more refined than some of their earlier stuff. But I mean, it is brilliant. They were invited to Woodstock '94. In my opinion, this band, Les Claypool, is the most brilliant bass player ever to pick up a bass guitar. He is phenomenal. But this is more refined as it became more popular. This is 1995. Yeah, this is 1995. This is a reissue from the 2000s. But this is Tales from the Punch Bowl. If you want to hear a little bit less refined, but definitely some classic Les Claypool guitar, pick up their 1992-93 album, Pork Soda. That one there is also awesome. Got some mega hits from that one as well. But Tales from the Punch Bowl, as I said, this is a little more refined. This has Mrs. Blaley and Wynona's Big Brown Beaver, and possibly, one of the greatest bass lines plus drum beats in a song by Primus is Southbound Pachyderm. It's got some weird stuff on it. I mean, Danza Jig is kind of their spin on a country-ish type tune. You've got Glass Sandwich on here, which is just a strange track, but kind of brilliantly done. And On the Tweak again, Captain Shiner Over the Electric Grapevine. All fantastic music. Yes, it's niche. Do I think it should be in the 1001 albums to listen to before you die? Absolutely. So check these out. 5 albums plus a bonus one that I think should be in the 1001 albums of all time. Alan, thank you for the thread idea. I thought that this was a great one. Kind of oddly enough, this is my 101st video that I've posted. So 1001, 101. Hey, I thought it kind of went well together. So if you enjoy what I had to say, please leave me some comments down in the section below. If you are new to my channel, I always encourage you to leave a thumbs up, definitely subscribe to my channel, leave some feedback down below. If you are a returning viewer to my channel, always appreciate the support. And until next time, take care everyone, and we will see you on the next video.